She was a silent blonde in the background, known only as Tiger Woods' wife. But on Thanksgiving night in 2009, her silence shattered the world. After discovering the most humiliating betrayal in sports history, Elin Nordegren didn't just leave. She took a golf club, smashed the windows of her old life, and walked away with $100 million. Everyone thought she was destroyed. They thought she would hide in shame forever. But today, she has resurfaced. And what she has done with her life is the ultimate revenge. She didn't just survive. She conquered. From nanny to billionaire's wife, to brilliant scholar and real estate mogul, this is the untold story of the woman who beat the game. The girl who didn't care about fame. To understand the sheer magnitude of her victory, we must first peel back the layers of the myth. We must understand the woman who existed before the headlines, before the scandal, and before the name Woods was ever attached to hers. Elin Nordegren was never just a pretty face waiting to be rescued by a rich man. She came from a world far more substantial and far more rigorous than the manicured fairways of Florida golf courses. Born on New Year's Day, 1980 in Stockholm, Sweden, Elin was raised in an environment of intellect, politics, and discipline. She wasn't looking for a prince. She was looking for a purpose. Her family background is crucial to understanding her character. Her mother, Barbro Holmberg, wasn't just a housewife. She was a powerhouse, a respected politician who served as Sweden's Minister for Migration and Asylum Policy. She was a woman who commanded rooms of diplomats and made decisions that affected a nation. Her father, Thomas Nordegren, was a celebrated radio journalist and foreign correspondent who covered wars, global politics, and the shifting tides of history in Washington, D.C. Dinner table conversations in the Nordegren household weren't about fashion, celebrity gossip, or who was dating whom. They were about global policies, human rights, and literature. Elin and her twin sister, Josephine, were raised with specifically Swedish value system, jantelligen. It is a cultural concept that discourages individual ambition for the sake of showing off. It teaches humility, hard work, and the idea that you are not better than anyone else, no matter how much money you have. Elin grew up valued for her mind, not just her looks. She worked hard from a young age. She held part-time jobs in clothing stores, folding shirts and dealing with customers. She modeled occasionally for a swimwear magazine, but she famously called it boring and quit. She found the focus on appearance to be shallow. She wanted to be a child psychologist. She wanted to help people, not pose for them. Her journey to America was a twist of fate, not a calculated move to find a husband. In 2000, she was working in a clothing store in Stockholm when she met Mia Parnevik, the wife of Swedish golf pro Jesper Parnevik. Mia was impressed. She saw something in Elin, a maturity beyond her years, a trustworthiness that is rare in young people. She offered Elin a job as a nanny for their children in the United States. Elin accepted. She didn't see it as a ticket to Hollywood. She saw it as an adventure, a chance to improve her English and fund her future studies. She moved to Florida, stepping into the ultra-wealthy orbit of professional golf. But unlike other young women who arrived in that circle, Elin wasn't starstruck. She was indifferent. When Tiger Woods, the most famous athlete on the planet, first laid eyes on her, he was mesmerized. At that time, Tiger was a god. He was in his prime. He was used to women throwing themselves at him. He was used to being the center of gravity in every room he entered. He asked Jesper Parnevik to introduce them. He expected an easy yes. But Elin said no. She reportedly told Jesper, "I'm not interested in dating a golfer. I'm not interested in the lifestyle." She saw the ego, the constant travel, the instability. She wanted no part of it. Tiger was shocked. For the first time in his life, his fame didn't work. He had to chase her. He had to prove he wasn't just a celebrity. He had to work for her attention. It took months of persuasion. It took friends vouching for him. It took Tiger showing a side of himself that the cameras never saw, the quiet, shy, nerdy side. When she finally agreed to a date, she wasn't marrying up in terms of class. In many ways, she was bringing class to him. She was a prize, not the other way around. The Golden Cage. By 2003, they were engaged. Tiger proposed during a sunset safari at the Shamwari Game Reserve in South Africa. It was romantic, secluded, and perfect. In October 2004, they married at the Sandy Lane Resort in Barbados. It was a wedding fit for royalty, costing nearly $2 million. But even then, Elin's influence was visible. To protect their privacy, something she insisted on, Tiger rented out the entire hotel. He hired guards to patrol the beaches. He even imported 500 red roses from Holland because the local ones weren't perfect enough. It was the beginning of a fairy tale, or so it seemed. Elin settled into the role of Mrs. Woods. She created a sanctuary for Tiger in their massive Windermere mansion in Florida. She gave him stability, while he traveled the world conquering golf courses, becoming the first billionaire athlete. She managed the estate. She pursued her studies part-time. She eventually gave birth to their 2 children, Sam in 2007 and Charlie in 2009. She was a picture of grace. She stood by the 18th green, holding their baby, smiling quietly as Tiger lifted trophies. She never sought the spotlight. She refused interviews. She turned down millions of dollars from magazines who wanted at-home spreads. But there was a cultural clash happening behind closed doors that few people understood. Elin came from Sweden, a country that values equality, modesty, and transparency. Tiger came from the American celebrity machine, a world built on image, hierarchy, and secrets. She believed in the pact they had made. He handles the fame. She handles the home. But behind the gates of their mansion, the isolation was growing. Elin was often alone. Tiger's schedule was grueling. And even when he was home, he was often distant, obsessed with his training, his video games, and his image. She was living in a golden cage. She had everything money could buy, private jets, jewelry, staff, but she lacked the one thing she truly wanted, a partner who was fully present. Looking back, there were signs that friends and insiders now recognize. Tiger was surrounded by yes men. His agents, his caddies, his friends, they all protected him. They created a bubble where Tiger could do whatever he wanted without consequence. If he wanted to go to Las Vegas, he went. If he wanted to disappear for a night, his team covered for him. Elin was the only one outside that bubble. She was the only one who treated him like a normal human being. She was the only one who held him accountable. And perhaps that is why he started looking elsewhere. A narcissist doesn't want a partner. He wants an audience. He wanted adoration, not accountability. Elin trusted him completely. She believed in the family man brand as much as the rest of the world did. She defended him when people called him cold. She cooked his meals. She raised his children. She had no idea that the phone in his pocket was filled with messages from waitresses, porn stars, and nightclub hostesses. She had no idea that her entire life was built on a lie, and that she was the last person to know. The betrayal wasn't just about sex. It was about the theft of her reality. Every time he kissed her goodbye to go train, he was lying. Every time he came home late from a business dinner, he was lying. For 5 years, she was living in a play, but she didn't know she was the only one who didn't have the script. The night the world ended, Thanksgiving 2009. November 27th, 2009, Thanksgiving night. This date is etched in pop culture history. It is the moment the facade cracked and the truth poured out like acid. But to understand Elin's reaction, you have to understand the lead-up. The National Enquirer was about to run a story about Tiger and a New York nightclub hostess named Rachel Uchitel. Tiger tried to get ahead of it. He manipulated Elin. He told her it was just a rumor. He told her the media was out to get them. He even convinced her to speak to Uchitel on the phone. Uchitel lied to Elin, covering for Tiger. Elin wanted to believe him. She loved him. She wanted to protect her family. She wanted to believe that her husband was the man he claimed to be. But after Tiger went to sleep that night, doubt gnawed at her. Elin is intelligent. She is intuitive. Something didn't sit right. She did something she had never done before. She checked his phone, and there she found it. Not just a rumor, but a text message. A message from Tiger to a woman that said, "You are the only one I've ever loved." The text wasn't to her. The betrayal was absolute. It wasn't just a physical affair. It was emotional treason. The golden boy was a fraud. What happened next has been debated for years, but the police reports and insiders paint a chaotic, violent picture of a woman scorned. Elin woke him up. She didn't cry. She screamed. She demanded the truth. Tiger, panicked and exposed, tried to run. He couldn't face her. He couldn't spin his way out of this one. He ran out of the house barefoot, jumping into his Cadillac Escalade. He tried to flee the scene of his crime. But Elin wasn't letting him go. She grabbed a golf club, a poetic weapon of choice. She chased the car. She smashed the back windows. Tiger, distracted and likely under the influence of Ambien, sleeping pills, lost control. He crashed into a fire hydrant and then into a neighbor's tree. When the neighbors ran out, they found a surreal scene. The most famous athlete in the world, lying unconscious and bloody on the street, and his wife, standing over him, holding a golf club with the shattered glass of their marriage surrounding them. In that moment, the privacy Elin cherished was gone forever. The police arrived. The ambulance arrived. And the next morning, the media arrived. The dam broke. First one mistress came forward, then 3, then 10. It became a global circus. Every day, a new woman appeared on TV describing her affair with Tiger. Waitresses from Perkins, porn stars, VIP hostesses. The count kept rising. It wasn't just a mistake. It was a lifestyle. Tiger had been cheating on her with an army of women for years. While she was pregnant, while she was raising his children, while she was nursing Sam. The humiliation was global. Every newspaper, every TV station, every comedian was laughing at her marriage. Saturday Night Live made skits about it. Imagine the shame. Imagine turning on the TV and seeing your husband's mistresses describing his bedroom habits in graphic detail. Imagine walking into a grocery store and seeing your face on every magazine cover next to the word cheated. Most women would have collapsed. Most would have gone on TV and screamed. But Elin did something extraordinary. She went silent. She refused to give interviews. She refused to cry in public. She took her children, locked the doors, and hired the best divorce lawyers in the country. She wasn't going to be a victim. She was going to be a survivor. The $100 million silence. The divorce in 2010 was swift and brutal. Tiger's sponsors dropped him. His ranking tanked. His reputation was incinerated. Elin walked away with a settlement estimated at $100 million. It was one of the largest payouts in celebrity divorce history. Critics sneered. They said she won the lottery. They called her a gold digger who got lucky, but they were wrong. Money doesn't fix a broken heart. Money doesn't erase the image of your husband with other women. Money doesn't give you back the 5 years you wasted on a lie. Elin was broken. The stress caused her to lose weight. Her hair began to fall out. She suffered from insomnia. She later admitted in her only interview with People magazine, "I felt like my whole world had fallen apart. It seemed that my world, as I thought it was, had never existed." She felt stupid. She felt deceived. She felt like she had been acting in a play she didn't know was fictional. But she refused to let the world see her bleed. Instead of letting the money define her, she used it to redefine herself. She didn't become a real housewife of Beverly Hills. She didn't launch a perfume line. She didn't date a 20-year-old rapper to get revenge. She did the most un-Hollywood thing possible. She went back to school. Elin enrolled at Rollins College in Winter Park, Florida. This wasn't a hobby. This wasn't a celebrity auditing class. Elin became a full-time student. She sat in the front row. She took notes. She studied psychology. Why psychology? Because she wanted to understand. She wanted to understand the mind of a narcissist. She wanted to understand how she missed the signs. She wanted to heal her own mind using science and reason. She was a billionaire's ex-wife sitting in a classroom with 19-year-olds, but she didn't ask for special treatment. For 4 years, while the world wondered where she was in the library. She was writing papers. She was taking exams. And in 2014, she didn't just graduate. She graduated as the valedictorian. She had a 3.96 GPA. She won the Outstanding Senior Award. At her graduation, she gave a speech. It was her first public address since the scandal. She was funny, self-deprecating, and brilliant. She joked, "Education has been the only consistent part of my life for the last 5 years." It was a moment of pure class. She proved to the world and to Tiger that she was more than just a blonde ex-wife. She was a woman of substance. She was smart. She was capable. And she was just getting started. The real estate queen. While she was sharpening her mind, she was also quietly building her empire. Elin proved to be a shrewd businesswoman. She knew that cash sits, but real estate grows. In 2011, she bought a mansion in North Palm Beach for $12 million. It was a beautiful, historic home, but when she brought in inspectors, she discovered the structure was flawed. It had rot. It wasn't up to code. It was infested with termites. So Elin made a decision that was symbolic of her entire life. She bulldozed it. She tore the house down to the ground. She didn't try to patch up the rot. She destroyed it so she could build something new on a solid foundation. She designed a custom, Swedish-inspired masterpiece. 25,000 square feet, 11 bedrooms, a wine cellar, a 3-story Swarovski crystal chandelier that mimicked the ocean, a home gym, and, showing her dedication to her son Charlie's passion, she built a putting green in the backyard. Think about that grace. She didn't ban golf from her life just because of Tiger. She supported her son. That is the definition of a good mother. She lived there for years, raising her children in privacy. It was her fortress. And then, when she was ready to move on, she sold it. In 2020, she sold a house for $28.6 million. She more than doubled her investment. While Tiger's career was fluctuating with injuries and comebacks, Elin was quietly making millions through smart decisions. She didn't need alimony to survive. She was generating her own wealth. She kept flipping properties. She invested quietly. She built a portfolio that rivaled any businessman in Florida. She showed the world that she didn't need a man to be powerful. But more importantly, she protected her children. This is the part that earns her the respect of mothers everywhere. She raised Sam and Charlie out of the spotlight. She shielded them from the shame of their father's actions. She never poisoned them against Tiger. Today, Charlie Woods is a rising golf star himself, and who is standing quietly in the gallery watching him play. Elin. She attends the tournaments. She stands near Tiger. They talk. They laugh. She put her children above her anger. She realized that Charlie needed his father, even if she didn't need a husband. Finding peace. The new life. But what about love? For a long time, people thought Elin was done with men. Who could blame her? Her trust had been shattered in the most public way possible. She dated a cold billionaire, Chris Klein, for a while, but it didn't last. She knew what she wanted, and she wasn't going to settle. She kept her heart guarded. She focused on her kids and her degree. But in 2017, she met someone who matched her energy, Jordan Cameron. He was a former NFL star, a tight end for the Cleveland Browns and Miami Dolphins. But like Elin, he had walked away from the spotlight. He retired early from football to protect his brain health after multiple concussions. He was quiet. He was grounded. He wasn't chasing cameras. He understood the need for privacy. They fell in love in complete secrecy. No red carpets. No Instagram posts. No drama. In 2019, news broke that Elin was pregnant. At 39 years old, she gave birth to a son, Arthur. And later, she reportedly had another child with Jordan. It was her second chance at a happy ending. A family built on trust, not branding. A family built on love, not contracts. Reports say she is happier now than she ever was in the mansions of Tiger Woods. She lives a life of quiet luxury. She volunteers. She raises her kids. She enjoys her privacy. She has even made peace with Tiger. It sounds impossible, but they are now described as best friends when it comes to co-parenting. Tiger has publicly said, "She has been one of my best friends. We're able to pick up the phone, and we talk to each other all the time. We both know that the most important things in our lives are our kids. Tiger knows he lost the best thing he ever had. And Elin knows she dodged a bullet by leaving. She forgave him, not for him, but for herself. She refused to carry the baggage of bitterness. Bitterness ages you. Forgiveness frees you. She won the breakup by refusing to play the game. The ultimate revenge. Today, Elin Nordegren is 46 years old. If you see her on the street in Florida, you might not recognize her. She looks radiant. She looks free. She isn't defined by the scandal anymore. She isn't poor Elin. She is Elin the graduate, Elin the mother, Elin the mogul. Her story is the ultimate revenge. Revenge isn't about slashing tires or screaming in interviews. Revenge isn't about trying to destroy the person who hurt you. Real revenge is living a life so full, so happy, and so successful that the person who hurt you becomes a footnote in your biography. Tiger Woods is still chasing his past glory, body broken, fighting demons, getting arrested for DUIs, struggling to find peace. Elin Nordegren has already found hers. She took the wreckage of 2009 and built a castle. She proved that you can walk through fire and come out not just unburned, but refined. Gold. She is the woman who walked away from the king and became a queen. What do you think? Did Elin make the right choice by staying silent? Or should she have exposed more? And do you admire her for forgiving Tiger for the sake of their children? Let us know in the comments below. And if you love stories of resilience and triumph, please like and subscribe to The Seventh Lens. We celebrate the survivors. Thank you for watching.